We gotta redo an intro then.
Yeah. You're legit the worst person that's ever been born. This century.
I'm the worst person that's been
there
born?
There are a couple baddies in the 20th.
Okay. I'm pretty sure there still are worse than me.
21st?
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't had like a 21st. Like, who's our 21st century Vladimir Lenin?
Bin Laden.
He doesn't have that reach. Lenin started a whole revolution, boy.
Well, I'm just saying.
Bin Laden got smoked.
I don't know if you could compare me not wanting to turn off the AC and stand up to some of these other folks, but sure, if you want to go ahead and do that, be my guest.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Podcast. I am Bo Oliver, joined here today with Aaron and Marissa. Look at that. To talk about the world of Hollywood, movies, TV, video games. What was that look?
Why are you talking like that?
I'm tired. What do you mean talking like what? I'm doing the intro.
Okay, get going.
Already coming here and throwing me off my game. I got water in my ear. I'm off balance.
You didn't go in the water.
Just went in the shower. Small ear canals.
No, sick invite. I love the beach, but
I literally invited you 2 times, and now you're going to the beach tomorrow. You just don't like hanging out with members of the pod off the pod. Listen to this pod on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all the place for podcasts.
You don't like hanging out with anybody in general.
Yeah, but I don't. That's the thing. You go out and do things.
I see.
And then when I want to go out, follow us on social media at NerdSoup, BoSoup, NerdSoup, Monkey, Purple Girl, NS.
Yeah. So what are my options? Hang out with you, who doesn't go out. Teddy, who's married.
Yo. All right. Yeah, Ted hasn't been going out since the marriage, right?
I actually saw him last weekend.
Oh.
Nice guy.
Sick invite. Just saw him out, or were you guys like, did you plan it? Just happened to run into each other?
I think we were already out, and he was already out in a different place, so we just stopped by. So it was nice. Nice to see him out and about.
Well, Marissa, it's good to have you back. How long do you think it's been?
The last time I was on the channel was more recent. Probably like late last year.
Yeah, that was.
But the last time I was here to physically record, I think, was last summer. Because we recorded a few things in a row that you just released later on.
Didn't you, Teddy and Marissa do something a few months back?
We did. Actually. Thor,
yeah. But that was fun.
That was a while ago, too, though.
Yeah, I don't know if that was this year.
Yeah, that was last year.
I don't think so. I think it was like a few months ago. I don't know. Who cares?
Time is irrelevant.
The timeline's all messed up anyway.
Yeah, well, perfect introduction to our first story.
I think this is my first fucking podcast. Come on.
Loki is set to appear in Doctor Strange 2. And yeah, after Loki, I mean, it kind of makes sense with the way that show left off. And we're going to try and keep it spoiler-free as much as we can because Marissa's not caught up. She acts like she's this big Marvel fan, but
oh my God,
doesn't even like
Some
Loki.
of us have for jobs.
The way that you like almost laughed when you said that.
That's weird. Weren't you like a big contributor on Loki Tumblr? I think you've mentioned that before.
Ooh, no. We can't get into that here.
Can we get into those days?
You definitely mentioned that.
Absolutely not.
Times.
That was a dark time in my life.
The level of thirst for Loki in those days, the Avengers days, that's when it really got to its peak, right?
Yeah, it was like Super Hulock versus Marvel Tumblr. If you were there, you know.
What the hell is Super Hulock?
You don't want me to explain it. We do not have the time.
That's a whole different podcast?
Some say it was worse than Vietnam.
Oh my goodness.
If you heard of Sarah Zed, she has a lot of videos about this era of Tumblr. I'm not joking.
It was a war. It was a bloodbath.
I just compared one of the worst atrocities in American history to Tumblr. That's not too far off, actually.
I mean, if you want an atrocity of the 21st century.
Tumblr? So who created Tumblr? That's our Vladimir Lenin.
David Cart.
David Cart, you son of a bitch. The Cart Revolution.
Tumblr's dead now anyway, so it's fine.
It's kind of shifted to Twitter. Well, look at that. Loki set to appear in Doctor Strange 2.
Nice.
Yeah. Like I mentioned in our Loki reviews, I imagine that his appearance in this movie is going to be him trying to help people rather than Doctor Strange being on his tail, and or maybe he does get some of the blame for the events that transpired in the series. But like I said, that ending, he looks like someone who's going to be looking for help, where he's not going to be looking for to get the edge or to win a throne or betray anybody. He's lost at this point. So that's the guy you go to, right? You go to the doctor.
Yeah, I think, especially with the ending, Marissa, it's kind of hard to. I'll try not to, but
Yeah, keep it vague.
we all know it's
messed up. Doctor Strange is going to have a lot on
I
his
was going to
hands.
say, basically from WandaVision and what I can tell already from what I've seen in Loki, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, especially like we know about Spider-Man and we know about the Multiverse of Madness, so they're definitely all going to tie in. So it makes sense that he will appear in some capacity in that movie. The more like I sit back and think about the ending, it's not even like I think the episode. I thought the episode was really good, but it's not even like the best part about that episode is just thinking about all the possibilities that are going to happen and what it means for the future of the MCU, because it legit just set up everything. And I think between, if you had to gun to my head, Spider-Man or Doctor Strange, which one I'm looking most forward to, I think I might lean Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's interesting how much like is hinging on Doctor Strange now, because the first movie was kind of just like, here's Doctor Strange. He's in Infinity War and Endgame. Everyone loves him. And now it's like the next phase is wholly dependent on how much Doctor Strange can, I guess, accomplish everything. It's dependent on if Doctor Strange can accomplish everything that's been set up.
And the thing is, with what they're setting up going into phase 4 and possibly going into phase 5, they have to be so careful now with continuity. And I'm sure there are going to be plot holes, there are going to be mistakes. That's just natural.
They're also not really doing like the big Avengers team-up movies anytime soon.
Yeah. And, well, when they do it, they're going to have their hands full. Because the way that Loki ends, it's only going to get worse from here. This is very much the tip of the iceberg. Like,
I just want my young Avengers children.
Well, they're
throwing them in there. They're setting them up. I haven't seen the end of Loki, but
I spoiled Kid Loki for you, right?
Well, yeah, but Kid Loki existed before that.
Yeah.
It's like even when we talked about this with the Loki the finale review about how like in Black Widow how they set up like Florence Pugh and you have Kate Bishop now and some of these young Avengers. It's like, what are they going to be doing while the timeline is legit crumbling? It's like I feel like their story is just going to be so insignificant while Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch are trying to basically save the multiverse.
Right, that's what I was going for with the continuity. So many different things are going to be happening, so many complex things, and they should send just shockwaves throughout the universe. That these other stories, these other movies should be impacted by what's going to happen in this movie. And you said gun to your head, which one are you picking, Doctor Strange or the Spider-Man movie? I'm also going to go with Doctor Strange. And I don't think it's going to be a movie where he fixes everything. Because whereas I think Loki will be more on the same page with Doctor Strange, Wanda's very much doing her own thing. And can't spoil it, what happens at the end of Loki, that really works to Wanda's benefit with what she's trying to do. If everyone thinks that she's trying to find her kids at the end of WandaVision in that post-credit scene, and people were saying maybe that what happens at the end of Loki and that credit scene are kind of happening at the same time, and that's why she's able to tap in. So maybe maybe Wanda is more of an adversary in that Doctor Strange movie, and I would love the team up, like just 3 badass wizards trying to pull this thing together. I also love that idea. But Tom Hiddleston, obviously, he shared the brief scene with Benedict Cumberbatch and Doctor Strange, and just from that scene, it was terrific. You know, he sends him in that portal. Loki's not even a match for him. Maybe Loki can learn a thing or two. These are 2 characters that need to learn more magic.
I mean, should have known from Thor Ragnarok how easily Doctor Strange just kind of handled him.
Yeah, really easily.
I mean, it was a different version of him, but still.
It was a funny... I laugh when Thor thinks the business card is Loki. Loki?
Not Thor. But yeah,
and also with Sam Raimi directing, sorry to cut you off, it's going to look more like a horror movie. That's also very interesting.
Yeah, I think
be something new for all these.
That would be a weird thing to put a gun to someone's head about, though. Doctor Strange or Spider-Man. It's like, I don't know, mister. Who are you? But I never get those scenarios, too, because no matter what answer, like, are they going to shoot you if you say the wrong answer? It's a weird thing we do.
Right.
But It's like I'm never in really any danger if I just say Spider-Man. Is he going to kill me?
Well, yeah, there is a wrong answer.
Really?
You just don't know it.
Who has the gun?
Feige. That's how he runs his focus groups.
Spider-Man's coming out first, or Doctor Strange is coming out first?
Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think that we'll see Doctor Strange maybe appear at the end of Spider-Man, where Spider-Man gets...
It might be like it's like how they tacked on that end credit scene for Black Widow that's clearly had to be filmed after the movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're going to do a similar thing for No Way Home.
But already, Doctor Strange was supposed to come out before Spider-Man. Doctor Strange was supposed to come out right after WandaVision.
When was Loki supposed to come out then? What would Loki...
Loki was supposed to come out...
After Doctor Strange. Interesting.
So what are they reworking? I mean, like I said, Angela Bassett said that Black Panther's been rewritten 5 times. You imagine these other movies have had to adjust.
Yeah, I think it depends. If Spider-Man's very much its own thing, like if each of these movies are kind of...
Maybe Loki was changed. Sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, if each of these things are kind of happening concurrently, but like they're all dealing with their own issues, maybe that's the way to do it. Like Spider-Man, even though he is dealing with the ramifications of what happened at the end of Loki, and, you know, we get the Garfield and we get Toby and all that, like he's just very much dealing with that. Whereas in Doctor Strange's movie, he's dealing with the bigger picture. So the two can happen in, doesn't matter what order it's in, they just kind of happen concurrently. But it's funny that like Doctor Strange shows up at the end of Spider-Man. I think every Marvel thing since Endgame, everyone's been like, yeah, Doctor Strange's definitely going to show up in this. And he just hasn't showed up yet.
Every time we get anything, it's, yeah, Doctor Strange. I think in Spider-Man, we're going to see a multiversal Sinister Six. We've seen it from the casting. Alfred Molina coming out and saying, yeah, I'm going to be in Spider-Man, and Feige saying, you should shut your mouth. Electro, Jamie Foxx from the Garfield movies. And like you mentioned, it's going to be where Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire fight against the Sinister Six. They wrap that up. They all go to their respective universes, and you tie a bow on it. It was a nice thing to do for the fans, the third Spider-Man movie. You always bring this up, that Spider-Man's a fugitive, so how are they going to wrap that in as well? I imagine that they're just changing things on the fly, man. They're really just adjusting to what the other projects are doing, and that's where you can run into some continuity issues. People keep saying it's way more ballsy than anything they did in Phase 1, 2, or 3, because when you introduce certain concepts...
I mean, yeah, the Phase 1 movies were not nearly as connected. Every Phase 1 movie was basically an origin for the most part. It's like, these characters exist. We just need you to know that they're around.
And it's like, they're not only connected, they're connected to other universes. Like, they're connected to the Ramiverse, or the Garfield verse.
Though, hasn't Andrew Garfield said he's not in this movie? Like, isn't this all just fan speculation?
No, because he's probably listening to Feige.
Okay.
Whereas Alfred Molina's like, I'm 68, I don't give a fuck. Garfield's a good soldier. You know, those older actors, they let loose.
You said Garfield verse, and I immediately thought of the cat.
I would love that. Bill Murray is Garfield Spider-Man. Coming for Spider-Pig's throne. All right, I think we should move on to the next topic here. We've talked enough without spoiling it, right, Marissa? Do you think you got spoiled? Pretty much, right?
Only a little bit. I mean, I kind of got the vibe of how the show was going anyway.
Yeah. Thanos is back alive. But yeah, let's go to Emmy nominations 2021. A lot of surprises, stacked categories this year. And like I said, some pleasant surprises for fans of some superhero shows here and there. So, yeah. Aaron, what do you have for us? What are we starting with?
I guess the nominations for Outstanding Drama Series, obviously, like Succession won't be on here because of the delay with COVID and everything. They won last year, but I'm surprised.
Did you call in that ice cream truck?
Yeah, I needed some time to pull up the categories.
You want a cone in a time like this?
I could use a fucking cone right now. It's really hot in here. I think, like, once again, though, the drama series is lacking behind limited series. I mean, obviously, it's nice to see The Boys on there, but one of the bigger, not sure, not a surprise, but I mean, when you talk about leaving off people like Carl Urban and Anthony Starr, I feel like that's just ridiculous at this point. But it's good to see that they actually got the series nominated. Also, Mandalorian, The Crown. The Crown, it's a good show. I've watched like a couple seasons of it, but it just pisses me off.
I mean, this was the Diana season, so people were crazy about that one.
Don't you mean the Margaret Thatcher season?
It's just,
let's keep things.
Every category is just stacked. With, like, I think one category has like 3 supporting actresses for like The Crown. I guess they're all good, but
The Crown is the only TV show that's ever existed.
You know what I want to start watching? Downton Abbey. But go ahead.
But yeah, I think once again, like I was saying, limited series is just stacked. I mean, especially the best actress in a limited series. I think that's
a category for the ages.
It's because like
Michaela Cole, Cynthia Erivo, Elizabeth Olsen, Anya Taylor-Joy, Kate Winslet.
that's what I said. Like
They could take on the Brooklyn Nets.
I think so. I remember when Mayor wrapped up, I thought like in my head, and I tweeted something along the lines of Kate Winslet just being an absolute lock. But I guess I forgot about like The Queen's Gambit was also this year, and WandaVision too, because Elizabeth Olsen was fantastic. So Paul Bettany also got nominated, and I think WandaVision also got nominated for limited series too. I think it's one of the more, I don't know, in recent memory, probably since Game of Thrones, one of the more like excited I am for an Emmys. So I feel like a lot of the shows that I've watched and a lot of the performances I've watched are being recognized this year, so that's always a good thing.
I know a lot of fans of The Boys were upset with the fact that it was nominated for Outstanding Drama Series, but none of the actors were nominated in any of the categories. And I think the standout has been, for the first 2 seasons, Anthony Starr as Homelander. I would have loved to have seen an Emmy nomination for him because his performance in season 2 only got better than the performance in season 1. I think the character even got better as well, and he was perfect in portraying how complex the character became by the end of that season. So that was a little disappointing.
Let's
but
look at
the fact that The Boys is being acknowledged is awesome because it deserves it, because it is one of the best shows on TV.
I mean, for the right now, the best actors in drama series are, I don't think he would be a lead. Probably supporting, right?
Yeah, what are the nominees for supporting? Well, I'm looking at Billy Porter. Haven't seen it.
No, that's lead.
Okay. Well, even if he was put up for lead.
Jonathan Majors is great in Lovecraft.
Was Josh O'Connor really that good in The Crown, Marissa?
I've not watched The Crown.
Oh. Okay.
Sterling K. Brown, he's a lock pretty much every year to be
I mean-
nominated. I refuse to watch This Is Us.
No, that's a terrible show.
No, I'm sure it's great. But
No, it's not.
no?
Yeah, it's the
Isn't
most
it-
emotionally
wasn't it-
manipulative show of all time.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah. But that's not good writing. Like, if I give a puppy cancer and I make you cry, I'm not a great writer. It's just sad.
Taking shots at Marley and me, huh?
That's Oscar Gold from American Dad. I really want to watch Ted Lasso.
I've heard a lot of good things about Ted
Yeah.
Lasso. I didn't know what it was about until recently, like a thread went viral on Twitter. It was like someone watching Ted Lasso for the first time, and they're like, why do all you people care about this soccer show?
I hear that it's very funny, very wholesome.
That's what I've
And,
heard too.
Yeah, if you're a soccer fan.
And I'm kind of into it now. Like, I want to watch it.
Yes.
Well, I'm very pro Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, that would... I'm sure Jason Sudeikis is not thrilled. Why wouldn't it be?
Not thrilled?
Yeah.
No, I think that's also an L that you can, like, that's an understandable L.
I'd be like, he was 7 when I was 20.
Imagine he fights him, all of a sudden Harry
It's
Styles
like
is a
a-
black belt.
The John
Kicks
Mulaney
his
stand-up about Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, yeah.
That's
very
Jason
funny.
Sudeikis.
But he's also Jason Sudeikis, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll rebound.
We're pulling for you, Jay. Supporting actor in drama series. I think that's their first acting nom.
That's interesting.
But yeah, there's a few
I
Handmaid's
think he was
Tales.
a character that was very much wasted.
I feel like, like thinking about it, I feel like he was in it for 5 minutes.
What's with Don Cheadle getting the nomination for guest appearance in Falcon and the Winter Soldier? He even tweeted, he was like, haters, I'm sorry. Supporters, thanks, I guess. I don't get it either.
Yeah, but I think for like the most part, the Emmys, I think we've talked about this, they're the award show that gets it right for the most part.
Yeah, definitely.
How is Hamilton still getting nominated?
That's what I was about to
Love
say.
Hamilton, but it's been out for like 2 years now.
More than that. It debuted on Broadway in 2015.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the
They
Disney
won
Plus-
every Tony.
Yeah, they did. Hell of a show. You
No,
should-
but calm down. These aren't the Tonys. These are the Emmys.
I'm just saying, I feel like, they're not going to give it to him again.
That came out mid-pandemic.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I
But
don't
it wasn't
think
eligible
qualified
for
the
last?
2020.
Okay.
Yeah,
last
yeah.
summer. It came out last
Yeah.
summer.
Right.
That's so hard to.
So wait, what was it nominated
compare.
for? Best stupid play
It's like support.
with rapping?
Oh my God. Supporting. I
US
think
Navi?
Lin-Manuel.
No, Anthony Ramos got it.
Oh, he did? Nice.
Do you call him US Navi or US Navi?
Usnavi. That is his name.
Okay. I like to salute him. Call him U.S. Navy.
Call him United States Navy. Call him by his full name.
Yeah, your father named you United States Piragua. Italian ISIS.
Piraguas are
That's so
good.
disrespectful.
Italian ISIS.
Italian ISIS.
I feel like it's
You know
a
what I
hate
mean.
crime.
They are so much less healthy than Italian ISIS. It's just ice
Piraguas
and
are so
syrup.
good. So
Aren't
good.
they? Is it an Italian ice? The whole thing.
It's a different vibe.
No, it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
It very much tastes like syrup on
It's
ice.
like you watch them shave the ice in front of you and then they just drown it in syrup.
Yeah, the best are in Puerto Rico though because it's always so fucking.
Ices is the old Italian man's sweat dripping into the ice when he.
Yeah, no,
while he
they
makes
had
it.
the Puerto Rican sweat.
It's in that
Or the
cloth they
Dominican
cover the
sweat.
ice with.
Yeah, exactly. A nice forehead rub. Wring it out.
My mom
It's
actually.
disgusting.
I hate the way parents text sometimes. She said "okay" with the check mark emoji. just say "okay."
They like to get cute.
hmm
Well, as soon as parents discover a technology, they think they're Gandalf of tech wizards.
But yeah, Evan Peters, supporting actor.
For
Mayor, right?
WandaVision?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, for Mayor of
Mayor.
Easttown.
I was going to say. I was like, he wasn't in WandaVision that much.
But
But you know what? Other people have gotten nominated for less.
He truly
Don
may
Cheadle.
be my favorite HBO character of all time.
Oh,
Evan Peters, detective. He was just so delightful, so
I want to
lovable.
watch Mayor of Easttown.
I think you. Oh, you would. That's like a trauma fest.
Oh, yes.
There's so much trauma in that show.
yeah. Yes, it is. But I'm looking at supporting actress in a limited series too. I think Julianne Nicholson from Mare was probably the best performance I've seen from that show and maybe of the year.
She definitely was nominated for that last episode, right? That had to have been.
Yeah. I mean, Jean Smart too. She's nominated for it also, but Philippa Sue and
You see, Jean Smart was cast in the new Chazelle movie.
yeah, that's gonna be
I like Jean Smart. Probably should have put that on the topic list.
Jean Smart.
Just Jean Smart. No, the Chazelle movie.
She's also nominated for Hacks.
That's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I
right?
hear good things.
Outstanding comedy series, Cobra Kai. Love that show.
Do you?
Yes.
Weird. Never hear you talk about it.
I'm Miyagi, though.
What's his name? Ralph something. He's from Long Island.
Ralph Macchio, yeah.
That's what everyone says.
He's from Long Island? No way.
Yeah, he's like the
I can't tell.
He's like, you know how like other teams fans like the Lakers have Jack.
He's the Islanders,
We have
Spike
Ralph.
Lee.
We have Ralph Macchio.
Wow. I like that for the Islanders.
It fits.
Very appropriate.
Yeah, it's very appropriate.
If he was a Rangers fan, I wouldn't like it.
But yeah, should be a fun show. I like the Emmys.
All right, you want to move on to the next topic here? We have big news for Robert Downey Jr.
Did Schitt's Creek end?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
So
I think it
so
was-
last year was their last. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they just called it quits at the height of its popularity.
People are saying that was a good idea on their part, but rather than dragging it out.
Seinfeld move. I mean, as someone who just started Schitt's Creek, it doesn't seem like there's much story from season to season. They kind of just, it feels like a
Vibing.
cartoon, you know? Every episode's just kind of a new wacky adventure. I don't know if they're ever going to get the fuck out of there. I mean, I guess some people know.
I took a little break. I might revisit that soon. I'm almost done actually.
Schitt's Creek Revisited?
It
All right,
shows-
next
it is
story
fucking
here. We have
hilarious.
Robert Downey Jr. is appearing in his first television role on HBO Max. It's a series being directed by South Korean director Park Chan-wook, who's known to Western fans for his movie Old Boy. I know a lot of people love Old Boy, even if they don't love foreign films. That's like one of the big ones. And more recently, The Handmaiden, which was fantastic. I think it's streaming free on Amazon still. But this this show is being called The Sympathizer, and Robert Downey Jr. is going to have a co-starring role. So he's going to be a supporting character. They're still looking for the lead. It's described as a cross-culture satire about the struggles of a half-French, half-Vietnamese communist spy during the final days of the Vietnam War and his resulting exile in the United States.
Half French, half Vietnamese.
Are you trying to think of a half-French, half-Vietnamese actor?
I'm trying to see who would fit that bill, especially with Robert Downey Jr. being supporting. You would assume that the lead has to be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, this article says a worldwide search is currently underway for the lead role.
They're probably going to go for an unknown, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, apparently the ensemble cast is going to be mostly Vietnamese, so they're probably it's going to be a lot of unknowns. At least maybe unknowns to us.
Yeah.
So, but the premise. This is what I want Robert Downey Jr. to do now that he's done with Iron Man. I mean, Park Chan-wook, show me your director, I'll show you if you're going to star in good movies. That's the thing with Fassbender. Fassbender never makes good movies. Look at the directors of his movies. They're just, no offense, they're like no names or people that haven't made good movies. So I think this will be great for Robert Downey Jr. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. Get him in an HBO drama, maybe in a couple of years. Vietnam War, different perspectives, cross culture.
I think that especially for him to be willing to take a supporting role. I mean, I'm not saying like he might think he's too good for that, but I think when you're a prestige actor like him, like you don't take that role unless you absolutely love who's making it and love the script.
Talk about this all the time with like Adrian Brody after The Piano Man. The pianist.
You think Adrian Brody could play Billy Joel?
No. No. Ralph Macchio could.
Yeah. Yes, he could.
The Piano Man. That's the English translation. After The Pianist, all he did was take leading roles. He's convinced he was a leading man. It's like, no, you gotta feel out the roles that are best for you, the best for your leading Oscar bait roles. So maybe this is him realizing, hey, this could be good for my career.
What was the movie where he was a lawyer?
The Judge. Yeah, as Oscar baity as it gets. And then Robert Duvall's 89-year-old ass got nominated instead.
Was Doolittle Oscar bait?
That's money bait.
Right, like I'm so glad his next project isn't like something stupid.
The Sherlock Holmes movies.
Yeah, although I like those movies.
Sherlock Holmes 3 wouldn't be bad.
I would like to see that. But I'm super excited for this, man. And it's being produced by A24.
Oh, nice.
It's A24 and Downey's production company.
Okay.
A24, do they only do like the horror vibe or they do other stuff too?
No, they do everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because like that's
Moonlight,
what they're. Oh, okay.
Uncut Gems. So yeah, no, a lot of their most famous movies are horror movies.
No, yeah, because I'm thinking of the Jordan Peele movies. And
saw that?
We did. I can't believe I saw that in a theater. How'd you? I don't even know how I got there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I must have had something on you.
I was threatened.
There were recent reports that A24 was looking for a buyer. Did you see that?
Yeah.
$2.5 billion.
You want to see what we can get together?
I'm thinking we sell Nerd Soup.
To A24?
You can get $5 whole.
$5,000.
A coupon to Chipotle.
Hey, it's right down the block now.
Exactly. Convenience.
That's interesting. Wasn't it like Apple was like rumored a while back?
Yes. Yeah. I remember talking about that, I think, on the podcast. That would have been weird. I don't want like Disney's A24.
Because the A
I
is
was
going to
say,
stand for
I don't
Apple.
want like one of those big companies to buy a 24.
A24 is because
most, yeah, I think they're most like prestigious and recognizable.
I don't want somebody to come around and just mess that up. All of a sudden, The Rock's in the
God,
next
that's
A24.
Bezos music.
The Rock and Kevin Hart, Central Intelligence 2. It's just mad serious. Dour. Dark filters. Well, Robert Downey Jr. is coming from the big screen to the small screen, and in our next story, we have a director moving from the small screen to the big screen. Matt Shakeman from WandaVision is going to be directing the next Star Trek movie. And for a long time, we didn't know if there was going to be a next Star Trek movie. We talked about the rumors with Quentin Tarantino, something I was really excited about. Then Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto had said that they didn't even think that Star Trek was going to continue with them in the lead roles. But Chris Pine is coming back, so is Zachary Quinto. And Matt Shakeman, who really made a name for himself with WandaVision, it's still a show. I know a lot of people were underwhelmed by the ending. I still like WandaVision. I don't think it fell apart. I think it ended.
It's still my number one, so.
I think it's still better than Loki.
Mm-hmm.
So for bringing a director like this, I think Star Trek Beyond was directed by Justin Lin, and that was the best of the Star Trek movies.
Mm-hmm.
The unfortunate thing with the Star Trek franchise is as the movies got better, they made less money. So they kept getting better and kept making less money. So hopefully this movie, maybe it will be a bit smaller, a bit more cerebral. I know that's what Star Trek fans have been clamoring for. You're a big Star Trek guy.
No, I was going to pull...
Can you name 5 Star Trek characters? Gun to your head?
Captain Kirk, Captain Picard, Spock, and then there's like George Takei, right?
I'll give you that. Whoopi Goldberg.
The Klingons.
Nichelle. Okay. What's her name? Nichelle. You guys don't know who I'm talking about?
Michelle?
That looks bad on you.
Well, you said Michelle.
I said Nichelle.
I clearly don't like Star Trek.
It's not his first feature film.
Ooh,
Oh, it's not?
No, I googled him real quick.
anyone could do that.
Cut
So it
Bank,
is his
and it was
first
like a
feature
limited
film.
release. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So it
I
was
feel
like that Star Trek the Motion Picture came out in 1978, and it was like a 2-hour episode accessible to
Yeah.
mass audiences. Like I said, the recent ones were good, and they did get better. Beyond was the best one, but I want a Star Trek, and this is what Tarantino wanted to do. He took the words out of my mouth. He was like, I'll just take one of the plot lines from one of the old episodes because those old episodes are genius and just make it a movie. I'll just tack on an hour or two. Coming off of WandaVision, which was a very, not necessarily a cerebral show, but it was confusing at times and it definitely challenged the audience. So I hope he brings some of that to this Star Trek movie.
Yeah, I think, like we said, we both really enjoyed WandaVision, so it was very capable. I don't know. So I just never got into Star Trek, so maybe I'll see this one. I'll support my boy Matt.
Go back and watch the Shatner ones.
It just seems like
They
there's
look
just
very
too
dated.
much.
He's what?
I just feel like it's too much.
What do you mean?
Just Star Trek. Isn't there like 1 million episodes?
it's not that there are
No.
1 million episodes. It's just there's different shows, right?
There's 1 million shows.
Oh, okay.
The original Star Trek runs for 3 seasons.
Okay.
Next Generation runs for like 8.
Yeah, I'm out.
What's the other one? It's not Star Trek in name, but it's a Star Trek show.
Star Trek
Deep Space Nine. Yeah, Deep Space Nine is the one I'm
Star
thinking
Trek
about.
Voyager. There's a bunch of them. There's that new one.
Oh yeah.
Picard?
Yeah. All right, final story here. Black Widow box office numbers. Black Widow's doing well, folks. I know it made $60 million on Disney Plus alone. It's made over $200 million worldwide so
nice.
far. And I think it broke, what was it, Fast 9's record
Damn.
for highest weekend
Barely had it.
in the panty.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it at length that we're waiting for like that sign that theaters are back and things are kind of back to normal. So I'm sure it's definitely being impacted. You wonder what the numbers would be if it wasn't on Disney Plus and if we're not coming off a global pandemic. But it's very promising, you know, that studios can take a look at this and see that, hey, movies can make money now. So we don't have to worry about our release dates or pushing things back or simulcasting it on a streaming service. We can just put movies out the way that we intended to put movies out.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here is that 20% of cinemas in the United States remain closed.
Mm-hmm.
So not all of these theaters are open, and the fact that it's made $100 million, it's the quickest to make $100 million in the pandemic era, and the first one to, well, is it the first one to cross 200 million globally? I'm not sure, but it has.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good sign, and we still have some ways to go here with opening more theaters.
And also opening them at full capacity. Because any movies I've seen in a theater recently, it's like if you buy 2 tickets, they'll block off the seat immediately on either side,
Yeah.
sort of thing, for social distancing.
Yeah. Yeah, and you also have to consider theaters around the world. That's not every theater in every country is going to be open, and that impacts it
even
as well.
in the United States, it's not like everywhere has the same kind of restrictions.
Right.
Canada is like still kind of shut down. So
Well, the 60 million on Disney Plus, we usually don't get those numbers. So the fact that they gave us the number makes me think that when it's not that high, they like to hold it back. But we got the 60 million first weekend, Disney Plus. So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing for theaters? You know?
I mean, comparatively, the difference between a movie ticket versus a stream is in terms of the monetary value.
Right, for the company as well, because theaters are taking some of the ticket.
Yeah, theaters can take some of the tickets, but Disney Plus is getting all of that money people are paying to see it on the streaming service. Like, they're pocketing that. There's no cuts.
Well,
To
that's what I'm
theaters,
saying.
at
Like,
least.
is this bad for theaters?
I wonder, because I always think about how In the Heights performs so poorly. And the difference is, like, HBO Max, anyone could watch it for free instead of going to the theater. But on Disney, if you want to see it before the month is out, you need to pay $30.
Yeah, it looks like Disney was smart to do that.
And even though we all complained about it, I mean, I'll still complain about it. I didn't want to pay for it on Disney Plus.
You did though, right?
Well, my brother did.
Oh, you didn't split it?
He told me he was buying it and that I could watch it if I wanted to. So I was like, nice.
Manny? So Manny's seen Black Widow?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
him and Cam watched it.
Well, me and Bo supported our local theater, so
All right.
I'm just saying we're basically keeping them
Are you
afloat.
saying that we're better people?
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Even though I snuck in my snacks.
Yeah, come on, man. I bought my snacks there.
Well,
What were you eating again? No, you don't want to say it because you haven't Googled how to properly pronounce it, huh?
edamame. How do you say it?
I don't know.
Is there a different way to say it?
I've never had it before.
It's very very good.
Cam was roasting you.
Really?
Yeah, he was very upset. Very upset.
Well, if the theater had edamame, I would have bought it there, but they didn't.
That's how we're going to save theaters.
I've always said they need like one breakfast options
Beer.
but like coffee for the earlier ones. Maybe like a little
Beer.
I don't know.
Some theaters do have beer.
All theaters need beer.
Maybe like
All theaters need to become the Alamo Draft House.
The theater I go to serves beer. The local,
Really?
yeah.
Our local ones don't do that.
Oh, it's
the
a it's
AMC
a,
does in Levittown.
the
Oh,
sh-
yeah, yeah.
The Showtime like brand theaters too. Those do. If that's like the Farmingdale Cineplex. That's the same type of one.
Wow.
But maybe it's just it happens. My local one happens to have a bar inside of it. I don't know if
That's
that's
nice.
a thing everywhere.
The theater in Brooklyn, the one we went to for Joker,
Yeah,
that's ideal.
that was a really nice theater.
I'm sure they have edamame there.
Probably, yeah. They probably handed out like M&Ms. Those damn hipsters.
I hate myself.
You guys want to move on to fan questions before
If you
I
would
turn
have told
into
me a year
sweat
ago,
puddle?
I would have forgo popcorn to sneak in my own edamame that I made.
Yeah, what the? You were a weird guy, honestly.
I know.
I mean, nothing
I'm not
like
happy about it.
there's a period of time where Manny would get a large popcorn and no butter, and I think that's weirder.
I used to do that.
If you're getting the popcorn,
Well,
though,
sometimes they over butter it.
yeah.
Nah,
If it's self-serve butter, fine.
you're just sensitive.
Well, your fucking taste buds can handle anything. You're like the opposite of diabetes. Just you need more and more sugar. All right, guys, let's move on to fan questions.
That's for the fan to decide.
People you call up to the show, you better be ready. That's what you're supposed to do. Sitting there arguing and you're trying to spell your name and all of this other stuff. It's not your show, it's my show. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak your mind. Don't call up here unless you got something to say.
This question here from Ariana at Always in a Phase.
Alivabetes.
What?
Opposite of diabetes.
Alivabetes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should cut that or keep that in.
I like it.
We need to cut that out, keep that in, Council. Like the timekeepers in Loki.
TVA agent shows up. We cut something out, they
We get-
zap us.
We get pruned. Bo was supposed to get canceled. That's part of the sacred timeline. This question here from Ariana. What would each of the OG Avengers, Iron Man, Cap, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, order at a bar?
I can't answer this question. I don't drink.
Cat would definitely get cranberry juice.
Shirley Temples for all of them. White
Thor
Claws.
would be a nice IPA. Or a White Claws.
I think Thor would like White
Hawkeye
Claws.
would like White Claws.
Oh, Hawkeye would
Yeah.
like White Claws or like a Truly.
Yeah.
Both very good options.
Black Widow, Bloody Mary. And Iron Man, a nice
Thor gets like the
Scotch.
thick IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iron Man just gets anything like
One of them likes some mimosas. I don't know which one, but one of them.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Oh, Hulk.
Oh, Hulk, yeah. Imagine the Hulk drinking a mimosa.
he seems like a tropical drink kind of guy.
He gets a froze. Big ass Hulk with a froze. Oh boy. I was gonna say something I totally forgot. This question here from can't ask that because of Marissa. This question here from Danny
Sexist?
Idaho.
Is it the embarrassing story one?
No, it's a Loki question.
Oh.
And no, it's not. Thoughts on the first reactions to Suicide Squad? This question here from Danny Idaho at Danny from Idaho. Also, would you like to see James Gunn direct a Deadpool MCU movie?
The reactions to Suicide Squad are to the full movie or the trailer?
Movie.
Movie.
Very positive.
Interesting.
They're saying it's the most positive since maybe the first Wonder Woman.
Wow. Since the
Not
first Wonder
surprising.
Woman.
No, I think we.
The trailers look good. James Gunn, good director.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I don't think I was ever really worried about this movie not being at least decent, but to see that it's getting the positive reaction that it is got me even more excited to go see it.
Yeah, and James Gunn directing a Deadpool movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd be
makes
down for
sense.
that. I think that might be the best guy to do it if you were to bring in Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the video with Korg was hilarious. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Deadpool and Korg.
Yeah.
It's like I prefer Dark World. I can't wait to see how they do that because they've said it's going to be rated R.
I feel like they've got a lot of leeway with Deadpool too, because he can just straight up acknowledge like the merger.
Right, and he can acknowledge that if he appears in the other movies, he's going to be censored. So, and I think they're going to bring him in a Spider-Man movie. He's going to pop up in
I
Spider-Man.
mean, him and Spider-Man are boys.
Yeah, we need that because those comics are so funny.
Even though it's a little different considering that like this version of Spider-Man is a teenager still and Deadpool is like an adult. But I still think that Ryan Reynolds can like pull off that dynamic.
Well,
I mean,
after-
him and Negasonic Warhead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it Warhead? I
Yeah.
forget. Okay. Like they
he
got
loves
they,
the name so much.
Yeah, they got that dynamic. So,
I think after Spider-Man 3, it's time to put him in college.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where's he going?
I mean, he goes to some. Is it made up?
Farmingdale?
He goes to in the comics. I think he goes to some school in the city.
MIT, right?
SUNY Buffalo?
No, MIT is in Massachusetts.
I thought
It's
Iron Man was
MIT.
getting him in MIT.
Is there a Manhattan Institute Tech?
No, but that was Iron Man said he was going to get him in.
Who knows? Maybe this whole being a fugitive is messing with his prospects.
He's going to have to go to Suffolk.
They're gonna rewrite the timeline so he goes to a good school.
That's the whole point of that movie.
The University of Arizona.
Like, oh, I was gonna say like Troy Bolton, but he went to Berkeley.
This question here from Stupid Millennial. Who is the superior anime Ed? Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist or Radical Edward from Cowboy Bebop?
Radical Edward has a special place in my heart.
Did you finish Cowboy Bebop?
No. But I've seen enough of Radical Ed to know that I love
You don't
her.
deserve
I love
to
her.
have her in your heart.
Listen, she's just got all the good vibes.
My favorite anime character of all time.
But Edward Elric is also
My favorite Full Metal Alchemist character.
like
The Battle of the Eds here is not easy.
it's like they're just completely different.
Yeah, to say who's the superior Ed, it's got to be Radical Edward when your name is Radical Edward.
Yeah.
That's just a better name. As good of a name as Edward Elric is. And rarely do I ever like the main character in a show, but Ed was just so... he's so unhinged.
Well, it's because it's like him and
Heart of
Al
gold.
are the main characters of the show.
Yeah.
It's about both of them.
Yeah, definitely. Aaron, who do you think?
Ed.
From Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
Best Ed from Ed, and Eddie.
This question here from Jake. Good question. That terrible at. Geralt Scooch. If a zombie apocalypse happened, which movie do you think it would most reflect? The Last of Us comes to mind? Not a movie, video game. Not a movie, TV show. Walking Dead, kind of. I feel like that's what would happen to humanity. I mean, the show gets repetitive, but that's what life would be, right? It would just be factions of people
Life's
trying to
repetitive.
survive. Good point.
Yeah. I would hope it's more like Zombieland.
I swear to God, I was
It's like,
just
I
going to
would
say,
want
I
it to
hope
be
it's
fun.
Zombieland.
Yeah.
Have a
That'd be
nice
fun.
Woody Harrelson mentor. All right, next question. Not really ready for the zombie apocalypse at Nerd Soup. From Stupid Millennial at Hugh Hewitt.
2 questions, huh?
What anime made you cry the most?
Ooh.
You've got a lot to pick from.
Anime makes me cry a lot. End of the Chimera Ant arc for Hunter x Hunter. I did cry. I've cried every single time I've watched that one. Also the end of Full Metal. That's made me cry. But also the 3rd season of Fruits Basket. I might have cried the most, but it might have just been like that was like my quarantine show. So like it ended and it got me real in my feelings about my life. So like I wasn't just crying about the show. I was crying about a lot of things.
I don't know about the most. I think My Hero makes me cry the most consistently. Because I cry for everything.
Well, I got choked up in season 4 of the Overhaul arc. The beginning of, or the end of the Overhaul arc, I got a little choked up.
Dude, I started crying when Aizawa called him a problem child and he punched his chest. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
I haven't cried yet, but like I was telling Marissa before when Deku saves the little kid from one of the
Muscular?
Muscular, that's his
Yeah.
name.
like I gave me like straight chills.
Yeah,
like,
that was
the
an
whole
awesome
time
moment.
watching.
My Hero I get chills just thinking of My Hero, man.
Oh,
There's so
Attack
many
on
great moments like that.
Attack on Titan season 2. That one gets me. When they're on top of the wall with Reiner and Bert Holt.
Mm.
When they reveal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's jumping off the wall and he's like crying
Yeah.
every time. Every time.
This question here from Maxwell at Jack and Jordan. What movie were you most certain was going to be good based off of the trailer? And what movie were you most certain was going to be bad based off the trailer?
One, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's always my answer.
Second one, Ant-Man. I'm
Bad
not.
trailer.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna suck, and when I
Yeah.
saw the first movie, I was like, "Wait, this was better than I expected."
I mean, John Wick. I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one.
I don't think anybody thought that movie was going to be good from the trailer. And like more recently, like I think we talked about like that first BVS trailer at Comic-Con, I was fucking ready to go.
Better than fucking Citizen Kane. I was convinced. I think it's funny because I didn't watch it when season 1 came out, but if you go back and watch the season 1 Game of Thrones trailer, it's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Batman Begins trailer is terrible because they were still doing like the in a world where a man becomes a bat, and it had like a Linkin Park song to it. It's just awful. But Suicide Squad will always be the one for me
The
because
Comic-Con one.
man, when Harley Quinn's like, "You're in so much trouble," Joker reveal at the end, we were all convinced that was going to be the one, and it was the worst one. This question here from Alyssa, we'll take 2 more. Has Marissa read the Shadow and Bone trilogy yet?
No, and I'm not going to.
Sounds a little personal.
I never heard you that angry before. blew off the mics.
She knows what she did.
This question here from Latte Larry, final question. Are the Disney Plus MCU shows much better than the Netflix MCU shows?
Different vibe. I think the Disney Plus shows are very much vehicles to expand the movie universe. Like they are basically hand in hand, and the Netflix shows were entirely separate, so they were able to be their own show for the most part. Except I think where they their downfall is when they try to do the whole Defenders thing. That's where the Netflix shows kind of fell off for me.
Yeah, and Iron Fist wasn't that great. It's weird looking back on those because Daredevil was great. I really like Jessica Jones,
And
and
the 3rd season of Daredevil was really good.
and Luke Cage was great too. Like, I think that it's just different vibes, different expectations, different kind of investment.
It's like you can tell, obviously, like the Netflix shows were not intended to be folded into like the MCU canon proper, even though they were like vaguely acknowledged. Like, it would be nice if we saw some of those actors come back, but we probably won't. And like, they're getting these movie stars to star in streaming TV shows. Like, it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's like Loki and WandaVision. Like, they're very clearly, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, can you imagine like 10 years ago, it's like you saw this movie and then you had to go watch this TV show to understand that the baton was passed from one character to another. Like, we knew that Sam was getting the shield, but like, this is the show where he actually gets the shield. Like, we see the journey. It's completely different. Like, a Netflix show wasn't doing that, and it wouldn't have.
Yeah. Just based on pure quality, though, those shows still aren't touching Daredevil.
Well, yeah, Daredevil was so good. And that's because it was allowed to be its own show. Like, I do feel like one of the Disney Plus shackles is that it is tied to the continuity. Like, there are certain things they can't do.
I think Daredevil is like Foggy. Like, if he wasn't in it, or it was just somebody different, it's like, it would be perfect.
You really don't like Foggy.
No, I fucking hate him.
You like Jon Favreau Foggy. That's your Foggy.
Yeah. Hashtag not my Foggy.
You never got to season 3, right?
I watched season 3.
Okay.
Did I watch season 3?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
It's incredible. You should watch it.
No, yes, because season 2 is like, eh. Or
They need to bring back Fisk.
after the Punisher stuff in season 2 sucked. Like, of Daredevil. Season 3 is like...
Started off well.
Yeah, season 3 is like a return to form. Iron Fist sucked. Jessica Jones, first season amazing, second season all right.
Ooh,
I
second
forgot-
season of Jessica Jones was brutal.
I forgot there even was a second season.
Yeah, and it was brutal.
And then the 2
I
seasons
watched
of
it. I
Luke
couldn't tell you
Cage.
one thing
all
that
right.
happened.
I remember her mom and her friend becoming evil at the end. Or not evil, but like she was really obsessed with
Well,
becoming
you
a
know, she
superhero.
thought her family was dead, so the fact that they,
Oh yeah, the blonde girl, and
Yeah.
she's like the
Her
cat,
best friend,
she's
her
cat
best-
lady.
yeah. Well, wow, I'm forgetting her
I
name.
can't remember her hero name.
I can't remember it.
It's not Wildcat.
Someone had like the music video. She was like a singer.
Yeah, she was like a teen star who broke away.
She was
from
also
it.
a podcaster.
Yeah, or a radio host.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big time star. All right, guys, that's a Nerd Soup podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Say goodbye to Marissa. She'll be here in 9 months.
next summer.
Every summer we get Marissa on for a podcast.
I only come back to remind you guys that I'm present. Not necessarily that I love you, but that there's some affection.
Damn, we were making some good points in that video. Hey guys, Aaron the Nerd Soup Monkey here. Before we end this video, I want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. What can I say about you guys that I haven't already said about myself? You are the most important part of the channel and the main reason we keep going strong. Like Bo says, you keep the lights on in the fridge so the fridge is full. Or something like that. So, from everyone here at Nerd Soup, I'd like to thank you guys for your continued support. If you're interested in joining the ranks of our patron supporters, head over to patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out the rewards we offer to our patrons. We recently dropped some new stickers for you guys to check out, or you could choose a tier that will allow you to select a movie, show, or video game for us to review. We've got a full slate of fan-suggested reviews coming your way, and we're really excited about the chance to review some of those movies and shows. We've also got t-shirts, mugs, behind-the-scenes videos showing how we bring our videos to life. And once again, thank you to all our Patreon pledgers who have been supporting us throughout the years. Without you, we wouldn't be able to convert all your pledges into cryptocurrency, so thank you from my future self for making us rich.